Hundreds of the nation's students returned to the physical classroom today, but it was not without glitches. At some schools, several students remain unaccounted for. Our team coverage begins with Jamaica Maitland, who visited the schools in the corporate area.
It's back to school morning for thousands of students across the island. For siblings Sky and Nazori, it's their first time attending school together, despite living in the same household and attending the same institution. It's why they're excited, but not without caution. A mask and hand sanitizer game is how the girls from Fletcher's Land ensure that they stay protected against COVID-19.
I realize that you're wearing your mask, right? You know why you're wearing your mask? Why?
Because there's a sickness going around and I need to be safe.
And it's a similar feeling for parents and guardians who agree that the children need to be in school, but there's worry about the risk of infection.
Yeah, I make sure she have about 2 sanitizers in her bag, although I know that the school provide sanitizer and whatever it is, and mask in her bag of things, so I make sure I prepare and tell her every day.
In downtown Kingston, students crowded bus and taxi stands, but not all operators were willing to transport them to school. The ones who did overloaded their vehicles, throwing social distancing rules out the window.
They can't charge the people them big people here, and that's the problem. You see it? That's why they can't get no driver and no bus now come to take them up.
However, the students were not turned away for their tardiness. At schools like St. Andrew Primary, acting principal Colleen Gordon described the turnout Monday as significant compared to what obtained online. As such, additional chairs had to be sought.
The single desk and chairs are seemingly the more ideal choices for principals. However, they say they're grateful for what they can get.
I had already made provision to get some of the chairs and desks that he's not using, so of course we're going to utilize them. They're actually waiting on me.
The school administrators say priority will be placed on grade 6 students.
When we thought that they were learning, when they came back on the weekly rotation, that confirmed that they were getting help from their parents and guardians. So we are really happy, especially for the PEP students.
Also happy for the return of face-to-face classes in the corporate area are security officers, crossing wardens, and the vendors.
Mask sell mostly, you know. The mask and 1 and 2 little juice and snap, but the mask sell mostly. Yes. Parents buy mask, children buy mask.
I work from Monday to Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday, Friday, and Saturday we're after work.
Classes have been dismissed, and day one of the full resumption of face-to-face school is seemingly a success. Now it's over to my colleague Dwayne Anderson, who's in Clarendon and picks up this report.
Thank you, Jamila. So a lot of my work here in the parish today focused on the schools in and around the parish capital, Maypen. And I can tell you the complaint of many stakeholders concerned how expensive it is to send students back to school.
Every little thing costs more. But I'm happy for the return because she's in 5th form and she needs the assistance.
One lunch is $600. Sometimes the taxi them carry them $250. They don't have nothing left. All $1,500, maybe all $2,000. Some parents are gonna have it rough.
And how that impact by how much you have to raise your things?
Honestly, Dwayne, it's really bad because, for instance, you used to sell a sweetie for $5. Now you have to sell it for $10.
It was a similar story for this taxi operator who transports students.
I 10,000 I full tank for empty and now first in our history me ever see Pro Box I take 10,000. Normally I want 5,000 I want 6,000 that full. For a week for them for school I roughly $14,000. You see, because I want to go mineralize at 5 bits a day for him.
We watched as students made their way to classes at the Maypen Primary, Central, Glenmuir and the Denby High schools. They all had to go through the COVID-19 checks. Kyle, who is a 6th form student at Denby High School, reasoned that online classes helped some parents eliminate a lot of spending on travel and lunch money.
Because of COVID, you know, people lost jobs and everything. So I think parents was depending on the online to kind of stay with their home financially.
In fact, due to the pandemic, many students spent their first 2 years of secondary education in the virtual space, and do not know how to behave in the physical classroom, a reality one principal is dealing with.
Most students are happy to be back. They are a little bit restive. I guess the fact that they would not have had this experience. So in terms of discipline, we'll have to ensure that we, as managers, we ensure that we curtail indiscipline as quickly as possible.
But not all schools reopened to all students today. The leadership of Glenmuir High School said the school was not ready and will therefore reopen next week. That means some of their students will have another week to prepare, which could mean busier days for people like this dressmaker. She explained that at her best, she takes an hour to make a uniform, but admits she is being tested by the back-to-school rush.
At first, the materials were here, and they wait until last moment to come, so it's not a bit hectic.
The dressmaker also does not support a suggestion that students should be allowed to wear casual clothes due to the financial demands involved in buying uniforms at this time.
I believe in principle. And if it's one uniform you have, you wear the one uniform. You, the parents, wash it, put it together.
My colleague Kelisha Williams was over in St. Catherine, including in the Sunshine City Portmore. But was it a bright return back to school for students and the other stakeholders?
Well, things got off to a smooth start and the turnout has been great in St. Catherine. But where things got difficult was when the school administrators tried to reintegrate the students who have been missing from the system since COVID-19.
Take 16-year-old Anil Davis, for example. He has not attended a single class, whether virtually or physically, since March 2020. So when the gates opened at the Enid Bennett High School in St. Catherine, he walked on the compound for the very first time in 2 years.
I feel like I can learn more and achieve something in life.
A student of few words, but one with the right attitude.
How you felt when you weren't able to come to school?
Horrible.
Constantine Hayden is Anil's guardian.
He never have no one who interested in him to come to school but me, miss. And I was lame. I was sick, broken. You understand? And his mother died when he was 2 years old. He has no father. I'm the only one who tried to help him. His grandmother not standing up for him to school like me. You understand? So I'm glad I get him back.
He explained that he tried to store his devices for Anil to attend online classes, but he was unsuccessful. Then things took a turn for the worse when he met in a car accident and he was unable to help Anil.
Him is the one who tried to assist me until I can walk. I heard school open and I bring him and ask teacher. Teacher asked me to let him write a essay before he accept him back into school, and he write a essay and teacher accept him back.
Principal for the Enid Bennett High School, Patrick Phillips, said there are several other students who have been missing from school. However, he explained that despite several attempts, the school could not locate many of them.
We know that we're going to have challenges, but we just have to work with the children and to see how well we can catch up on the learning loss.
And from the first day of school to the first day of work, this vendor has not been outside the school since March 2020. At the Tulla Primary School, about 10 minutes away, about 95% of students turned up for classes.
Some of the teachers have reported that they're seeing some children for the very first time. We have been doing the home-to-home visit, and trying to ensure that we get everybody out. It's just unfortunate that some were able to just turn up for the very first time this morning.
At the Grateful Hill Primary School, though, the main challenge was space.
We are looking at expanding our infant department, where we'll put infant 3 by the cottage.
As for the students, they were just happy to be back at school again.
It's been great, very great. I just feel nice. I got up 5:30 because I wanted to reach the school early so I could see everyone entering into school, because it was a very nice feeling.
It's good to see everyone coming back to school, all healthy and stuff.
Kelisha Williams, TVJ News.